Alright, so I want you to imagine someone very important to you. Okay, someone special in your life. If you could say one last thing to them, what would that be? And you see, the harsh reality is, in many cases, people don't get to say their final goodbyes to their loved ones. Whether it may be they got into an argument and things were kind of shaky and they just weren't talking to them, or they life just got busy and they just couldn't catch up with them any. There's a lot of different reasons of why people don't get to say their final goodbyes to their loved ones, and it's a hard guilt. It's a hard, heavy guilt to have on one's heart. The guilt of knowing that you didn't say your final goodbyes, or that you could have helped them through something, or you could have spent more time with them. It's a tough thing to deal with. I mean, losing one person special to you is bad enough, but to lose a person special to you, and you have guilt that you didn't spend more time with them, or that you could have helped them through something, anything like that, it's even worse. And death is inevitable. All right, from the moment we come into this world is the moment we start dying. Death is a part of life, and you just can't take every day for granted. You can't just sit there and look at things and say, hey, you know what, it'll be fine tomorrow, they'll be over by tomorrow, it'll be better next week or the month after that, whatever it may be. You can't live life like that, because the sad thing is, you just don't know how much longer you have where the other person has. I remember a couple years back, my grandma, she got diagnosed with dementia, and from the moment she was diagnosed to the moment she took her final breath, it was kind of just a downward spiral. And I remember she was in the nursing home, and I kind of avoided going to see her, because I don't know if many of you know or not, but for those of you who don't know, dementia is a lot like Alzheimer's, but it's the less aggressive, makes the person less aggressive, so to speak. But I'm sorry, this is a really hard topic for me to talk about. She wasn't the same person I knew back when I was a little kid, when I used to go to her house all the time. She used to make the best chocolate milkshakes and french fries and stuff, and she just wasn't that person anymore. She would say all these crazy things, and half the time she wouldn't, or 99% of the time, she wouldn't know who you were. To look at my granny, and for her to look at me in the eyes and, not know who I am, it was just a really hard thing to deal with. And I remember like it was yesterday. My brother and I were volunteering at a lemonade stand, and this was a little while after my grandma got into the nursing home. It was a little while into it, and we were volunteering. My brother and I were volunteering at a lemonade stand at my cousin's work, and I remember it was about midday, I guess, and my cousin got a phone call, and next thing you know, she starts crying and say, "Guys, we got to get to Granny. She's in really bad shape right now." And I remember at that moment, my heart sunk to my stomach, because I knew then that my time to spend with her is now, it's coming to an end. And it was about a week after that had happened. She had moved on to the hospital. They had transferred her to a hospital, and I remember my cousin got married the same day that my grandma passed away, and it was after her wedding. My mom had stayed at the hospital with her mother all day to take care of her, and my cousin, she had her wedding, and we all, right after she got married, we got everything cleaned up as quick as we could from the church, and we drove all the way out there to Richmond from where we were. It was about an hour or so away, and because we knew time was ticking when it came to this, and it was just a beautiful sight, seeing the whole family together in a room, and it was really crowded. It was a small room. It was a one-person hospital room. You can imagine how small they are. And my dad, my brother, and I were sitting in the waiting room down the hall, because I didn't like so many people being in there at one time, and it just kind of freaked me out. And I just remember my mom coming down the hallway. She had tears in her eyes, and I could just look at her in the eye and see the pain. She looked at us, she said, "Guys, Granny's not breathing anymore." And she went to the nurse, and she told the guy, "Can you check on my mom? I don't think she's breathing anymore." And we knew there wasn't anything they were going to do or anything, because she was a DNR, which means do not resuscitate, because there was really no point, And he put the stethoscope to her chest. Everybody was surrounding her, crying, tears. Everyone was so quiet. And he looked at me, he said, if you want to say something, now's your time to say it. And I just remember telling her that I loved her. And in my head, I was thinking, I'm sorry I didn't spend as much time with you. And, it was, I still carry guilt to this day about not seeing her as much as I could have. Because at the end of the day, I know it might have bothered me a little bit seeing her the way she was, but I can guarantee this pain that I have inside of me is so much worse than what it was when I saw her like that. And so what I'm trying to get across to you is that, you may say, this person will be fine tomorrow, or this situation will be better, it'll just work itself out. You need to make things right, guys, because you don't know how much time you got left. Whether it be you or the other person, you just don't know. And sometimes you just gotta be the bigger person and say, I'm sorry. In Ephesians 4:32, it says, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. Basically, that means you need to be kind to one another. You need to be tender-hearted. You need to love one another, and forgive each other, as God did for us. And, my challenge for you is for you to, let's say you got into an argument with your mom, you better call your mom right now, text her, do something, tell her that you love her, and tell her that you're sorry. Because a mother's love it's unending, guys. There's nothing like a mother's love. If you got into an argument with a friend, call them, text them, be like, hey, I want to work things out, I want to talk to you about this. It's bothering me, it's heavy on my heart. Because at the end of the day, I know you're going to feel a lot better about it once that relationship has been connected back together. Because as humans, we strive for relationships. It's naturally human to want to have a relationship with another human being. And to ruin relationships, whether it be a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it may be, having relationships ruined like that, it hurts. And to have them paired back together and to have work things out, it feels so much better. It gives you a sense of relief, like a weight off your shoulders. So don't sit there and, just kind of treat it day by day. You got to live in the moment. Because you just really, genuinely don't know how much time you have left. You don't have forever.